Welcome to Films and Stuff with your hosts, Pete Mitchell and Ethan Hunt.
Pete, we are back. Films and Stuff. It's the end of 2022. How are you today?
I am great, Ethan. How are you?
Oh man, I'm super good as well. This is the final countdown, key the music, of 2022, and we're like that group that's sitting in Times Square, like counting down the hits, right?
Oh my God, yeah. Let's not be like that group, though. Wasn't that one of those guys like super drunk last year and like starting to rail at other celebrities?
Oh man, we should find that video if that's the case.
Andy something, whatever his name is. You know, he's famous. He's a reality TV host guy. I don't know, whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can't remember. Andy Cohen. I think he made some comments. I can't remember. But anyway, that's irrelevant.
Let's not be that guy.
Let's not be that guy.
Let's talk about, should we look backwards at 2022 or do you want to look forwards to 2023?
So we can give a very quick recap. 2022 was, I think, so two things. One, We are giving ourselves until January, let's say the last week of January, to finish watching any of the shows or finish watching any of the movies that came out in December.
Yep.
And then we'll give it a final score. And then, of course, Ethan and I will then release our end of year results for what we think is the best streaming platform, what we think was the best platform overall. And, we'll give you updated price points so that, everyone gets an idea of where we are.
Yes.
There was a flurry of TV series that were basically dropped in the last week of December.
Yes.
And in terms of movies, the only real major movie that got released was, two. There was this Knives Out sequel, Glass Onion, which came out on Netflix.
Yeah.
Now, I saw it a few weeks ago or maybe a month
Yeah.
ago in the cinema. But that came out. And then we also had a couple of, and Avatar 2 came out.
A Way of Water.
Way of Water, and of course, 12 days in, it's already crossed $1 billion. So whether we like it or not, it's a cultural phenomenon.
Can I make a comment? And I know we're both thinking it.
Yeah.
There is nothing in the cinemas right now.
Oh, no,
I mean,
not at all.
You're in London. I'm in Dubai. These are, for all intents and purposes, among the largest cities that should be the epicenter for like new releases and hot movies right now, right? And I looked at what's playing in the cinema. Avatar is like on every screen. Okay. After that, there's some really just kind of sad, tragic movies playing. Do you want me to read them off and you just tell me, like, help me understand what's going on here? Okay, Avatar. Okay. Black Panther is still in cinemas.
Sure.
Okay, that's fine. There's like 3 kids movies, Puss in Boots, Smurfs, Maurice. That's fine. The kids need their movies. There's the obligatory date night film, Shotgun Wedding. I'm sure that's totally fine, right?
Yeah.
Then there's 2 horror films. Okay, not my genre. And then there's all this strange stuff that I've never heard of. Summit Fever, Mind Cage with Martin Lawrence. Like, those are the choices right now. And this is like kind of peak cinema season, right? I mean, in a lot of places around the world, the weather is very cold. If there's ever a time of year people are not going outside, it's now. A lot of the kids are off for university holidays, school holidays, right? This is kind of peak family cinema season, right? And apart from Avatar, it's just a hodgepodge of nothing compelling.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's 2 points to that. First, I think this is a little bit of a fallout with what's been going on with Warner Brothers and their merger. They reshuffled a lot of their schedule. And I'm not saying it's because of what happened now, but in general, Warner Brothers overall has been in utter chaos. So That's one thing. The second thing is that, I mean, let's say I am the head of Disney, or I am the head of Warner Brothers or Sony Pictures, whoever it is, okay?
Yeah.
And I see that Avatar, the highest grossing movie of all time, is releasing a sequel in December. I don't have the confidence in any movie in my backlog, or even in my, in my pocket, that I would want to put it up against Avatar. I really don't. I just don't. And to be honest, it's a little bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Because no one wants to try to outgun the most successful film in cinema history. But at the same time, because of that, that only propagates that it will continue to become the most successful franchise, because there's no competitor.
It has no competition.
It has no competition. So, of course, it doesn't make sense. Of course, it makes sense, rather, that $1.1 billion was thrown in cinema tickets to Avatar, because nobody has any other options or any viable options. The only other options you have are stuff that you watch at home, which anyone can do.
Yeah. Am I romanticizing my childhood, where I would go to the cinema and there were like 3 or 4 like amazing movies all playing at the same time?
Yeah, but those were generally summer movies, first of all. Second of all, there's definitely a little bit of romanticizing, a little bit of nostalgia in there. There's always 1 or 2 bumper years that I can think of where, like some unbelievable crop of movies are out in the same year. I think, like, for example, the year Pulp Fiction came out, there were like 3 or 4 unbelievably amazing movies that were in the cinema all at the same time. So, yes, there's a little bit of that. So that's one. And the second, and I think this is the most pertinent thing, I think that the end of this year marks, or the beginning of January will mark the first time now where we no longer will see movies that have been impacted by the pandemic. I think we're now going to get into the industry at full swing, not ravaged by delays in shooting because of the pandemic, or, delays in releases like Tom Cruise did because he sat on Top Gun. We're not going to see any more of that. I think now we're going to just hit the ground running going forward. And honestly, first of all, A, that's great. I'm really happy to see that. And B, if you need proof of that, I think Avatar is kind of it. I think people are going to be like, hey, listen, we had a couple of big hits in the year. Don't get me wrong. Top Gun did very well. All these movies did very, very well. But I think it's now where people are just going to be like, all right, if we're now getting back into the days where there's a potential for a movie to make $1 billion in 10 days, cinema's back.
Should I be more excited about Avatar? I mean, I'm part of a very prominent entertainment podcast. Should I not be more excited about Avatar? Is there something wrong with me that I'm not?
I'm not super excited about Avatar. I think we talked about the first one in the sense that this is a story we've all seen before, right? Or at least the first movie was. And it's not a new story. It's about colonization. It's about, foreigners coming in to take the resources of another land. Nothing special. I think what made it special was that the graphics were unbelievable. Yeah. The visual effects were unbelievable. Yeah. The 3D was to be unheard of. All of those things just made it like the timing was perfect. Mm-hmm. So, and of course, it's James Cameron. You can't take that away from him because the guy knows how to make good movies, right? Or even if they're not good, they're quintessential Hollywood. Yeah, exactly.
They're epic.
Exactly. So I think there was a lot of things working in his favor to make that work. And I think that he's probably done it again with Avatar 2. I think the real acid test, or at least the real litmus test, is going to be what happens with Avatar 3 and 4. 3, I think they've already filmed. I think they did everything back to back. I don't know if they did 4 also back to back, but I know they did 3 back to back with 2. So if that's the case, that's going to be the test to see, hey, does this franchise have the legs to survive multiple sequels?
Yeah.
So I'm with you. So anyway, we'll dive deeper into 2022 when it's appropriate. Let's talk about 23. TV shows, movies, what are you keen on? What are you not keen on? What have you heard about? What are you looking forward to?
I guess, so there's, I think, a slew. Unlike, I just complained that there's not a lot of great stuff in cinemas right now, but I think actually the opposite on television. And I feel that in December, while we haven't seen the film studios drop a lot of interesting stuff on the big screen, we've seen a lot of really great streaming things that have been released in kind of November, December-ish. And I'm talking about Tulsa King, which we both watched and loved, right? Mythic Quest Season 3 on Apple TV+. The Season 2 of Slow Horses, Apple TV+. Mosquito Coast Season 2. Jack Ryan on Amazon. So I think that we've seen some really, really good sequel content. Tulsa King, I guess, is new. Come out on streaming. And that's made me very excited for what else we're going to see. So the ones that I understand we've got coming out is Succession Season 4. We've got The Crown Season 6 and Yellow Jackets Season 2. I think these are all confirmed to be coming out in 2023 at some point.
Yeah, I will say, I will caveat that there's a lot of shows on HBO Max that I was very keen on and looking forward to.
Yeah.
That I'm no longer sure if they're coming out. So again,
like what?
So apparently, and I don't know if I read this wrong or if the reporter got it wrong, but apparently, for example, The Minx, which we saw through Streamer
you loved it. Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great.
Mm-hmm.
I heard they finished shooting season 2 and they had finished principal photography and then they got canned.
Why?
Because I guess that's HBO's thing now, or maybe Warner Brothers' things now. So, we saw that happen with Batgirl. They filmed it, finished visual effects, finished everything, and then they canned that as well.
But Pete, isn't there, okay, maybe I understand that maybe I understand that explanation, but does that make sense? Because I thought that the difference between Hollywood and streaming is that once something is filmed and it's gone through post-production in Hollywood, that's all numbers approximate. That's half the cost, right? Then there's also the cost of the distribution and the promotion and the blah,
and
blah,
the
blah.
marketing. Yeah.
So that's where they take kind of a call and say, look, well, let's just eat the cost of the production. We're not going to put more money into this thing. We think it's going to be a dud. For streaming, I understand that once you're done with the show, there's actually no more, I mean, not exactly true, but it's a very marginal cost. All you have to do is basically put it on your server and let people watch it, right?
Yeah, so I would tend to agree with that. I would say there's still some additional cost. There are certainly going to be some variable costs. You still have to pay for a little bit of marketing. Yeah. You still need to promote it. But I think, and don't hold me to this, but I think the strategy has been for Warner Brothers is if we can the show after it's done, or even before it's done or while it's going on, if we can the show, we can write off that cost as a loss because there's no income generated with it. And that allows you to gain tax advantages or at least lower your income. And that, and again, don't hold me to this. I don't know the full, let's say, financial impact of the merger. But I imagine there's a lot of tax advantages that they can use in the future by declaring losses now.
Films and Stuff Tax Edition. I mean, maybe that's the case. I mean, I guess I can't argue with that.
It has to be for Batman. There's for Batgirl. No. It makes no sense considering everything was already done. If you've spent $100 million making this movie, so now old Hollywood math was whatever your budget was for making the movie, you're spending the same amount in promoting that movie, right? That was the old Hollywood math. I'm not saying that's correct or incorrect.
Yeah.
But that was just the rule of thumb. So if you spend $100 million making a movie, you typically are spending another $100 million to market and advertise that movie around the world. That's the basic rule of thumb. And whatever one Batgirl cost, I'm not saying that they had to market it at that expensive. Maybe they spend half of the cost. But basically, they ate all of that because they just wanted the tax breaks. That's what I heard. That's what I've read on, that's the news on the streets anyway. And I imagine that's why. So when Westworld got canceled, season 5, they still paid their principal actors the salary for season 5. All the principal actors, the main guys, received their salary, even though they didn't even start filming a single thing. For me, that sniffs not of goodwill. I mean, everyone at Warner Brothers, everyone's going to, spin it as that's a goodwill thing. We made these guys promise that they'd come back, so it's only right that we pay them. Yes, that's correct. But, when it comes to money, no one gives a damn about goodwill. Certainly no corporation. So when it comes to that, for me, it reeks of, we're going to spin it as goodwill, but the reality is that there's going to be great tax benefits for us from paying these guys now.
Maybe that's the case. But I mean, as you know, and again, I don't want to turn this into a tax dish, although that would be super cool. I mean, you're a finance person, right? I mean, the way that write-offs work, it's not like that's just free money and you offset it directly against, profit and it zeroes out. I mean, if you've got $100 million in profit and $100 million in a tax write-off, you're basically just offsetting that against the income tax that you would pay, right? You're still paying tax. You're just lowering your tax. You're still going to be taking a loss.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have to really be desperate and think that, I mean, the thing that you're canceling, you have to sincerely believe that it's not going to be profitable. Or not just not profitable, you have to believe that it's going to be dramatically unprofitable. Because again, they're not just, I would expect you're not just trying to reduce your tax bill, especially Warner, which is, if you're losing money, you don't have anything now. I mean, you must be expecting that either you don't have the cash to promote something, right? It may be a cash flow issue, that you just don't have money to promote it. Or you believe that it's going to be deeply, deeply unprofitable and you're not willing to throw, good money after bad. Or bad money after good, whatever.
Yeah, maybe. Perhaps. I mean, certainly on a surface level business discussion, that's what makes sense.
I mean, the more I think about that, the more that seems to be the cash flow issue, right? Which is, you've committed to like investing in all these things. And at the end of the year, you're like, wait a second, we've got 5 things coming up. They all need to be promoted. We don't have the cash to promote these things, right? We've had, this year, so many other things that have not been profitable. We just don't have money to promote 5 things. So we've got to cancel them. We've all been there where we've made I don't know if we've all been there, but people have been there where you've made a down payment on something and it comes time to, pay the balance. You're like, look, I just don't have it. They say, well, you're going to lose your deposit. You say, well, that may be, but that's the only option I have, right? And this may be the same thing that they're saying, look, for Batgirl, we just don't have $100 million lying around. We've had so many deeply unprofitable films the past few years. We just don't have it. Maybe this will be a film that breaks even or is even marginally profitable. We just don't have the resources sitting around for this and for 4 other things. So we're just going to have to cancel them, lose our deposit.
Perhaps. Well, I mean, look, these are things that we'll never know, or at least we won't know for a couple of years.
Yeah. We need a special guest who can explain it or give us some Hollywood insight.
If you're a Hollywood financier, we want you. We can you can talk to us about it. It may be dry to some people, but it's actually quite fascinating.
If you work at Warner, you can absolutely come on anonymously. We'll do some voice
modulation.
Yeah, voice modulation. And you can explain exactly where the financial situation is right now. We'd love to hear that.
That's HBO Max.
But hold on, we're on DC. Can we just say something about DC films coming out? So
DC has been terrible. Yeah.
What is coming out for DC? I mean, they still are a studio. They are putting out films, but what are they putting out now? I'm not clear anymore. What's left?
Okay. So this is the list of confirmed, but nothing, confirmation these days means nothing, especially when it comes out of Warner Brothers. So right now, when you look at the DC slate, you've got Aquaman 2, you've got Shazam 2, and I think you've
The
got
Flash.
Blue Beetle. Oh, you've got the Flash.
How did that make it? I'm just shocked.
You know how that makes it? It makes it because it will make a boatload of money for them, and because it's got such star power behind it that it would cause Warner Brothers significant difficulty in making movies in the future.
Okay.
Even though it is a political landmine to talk about.
Where's the star power? Where's the star power in Flash?
You've got every Batman coming back.
Oh, they're all in the Flash?
So they are doing in the Flash what Spider-Man did with No Way Home.
Oh, I had no idea.
All of the different Batmen are coming back.
Spoiler alert.
Except for George Clooney, from what I've heard.
Well, tell me why not Clooney, though. Now you've got to tell me.
I think he respectfully said no because he said his iteration of Batman was by and far the worst, and he didn't want to be involved.
If that's true, do you think that's benevolent by Clooney, or you think that's... How do you read that?
I think it's a combination of benevolence by him, and I think probably just savviness in terms of being like, if it's good, fine, I wasn't involved with it, but if it's bad, I don't want to be involved with it either. And certainly, I think it's also one of the dark spots on his career. Like, everyone remembers the nipples on the Batsuit drama, all that kind of stuff. Do you really want to be associated with that again? Probably not.
Yeah, maybe.
So anyway, that's the problem with DC is not these releases. It's not whether these movies are good or not. The problem is we don't know if they're actually going to come out or not. And the more important problem is that my understanding is, based on what we've heard from James Gunn, who's taken over as the head of DC now, that these shows are going to be the last ones with the current iteration of the DC universe, and then I think they're going to do a hard reboot. So, for example...
so hold on. We've got Aquaman, the last one. The Flash, the last one. Shazam 2, the last one. Wonder Woman 3?
Canceled.
Wonder Woman 3 is canceled, huh?
Yeah, well, they're not going to say canceled, but, I mean, for all intents and purposes, at this moment, it's been canceled.
Wow. For me, that's super surprising, huh?
It's super surprising because she was the strongest part of the Zack Snyder vision of the DC universe. Stunning and actually good. I didn't like Wonder Woman 2. I thought the movie was terrible.
1984?
But
oh, yeah, it was terrible.
Gal Gadot, in general, loved her as Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
I thought she was excellent.
Yeah. She plays that role extremely well, right?
Yep. I think she had the perfect look for it. I thought she was stunning. I thought the whole thing, I thought the first one, I had problems with the movie, but overall, I liked her in Wonder Woman.
So are they going to recast? So are they recasting everybody in the DC universe?
Yes. So Henry Cavill is out as Superman. They've asked him to maybe come back as another character.
Shocking to me.
Jason Momoa has been asked or reportedly has been told that he is not going to reprise his role as Aquaman after this movie comes out, after his next movie comes out. He may be asked to come back as Lobo or some other character. I mean,
Affleck's got to be out, or Affleck is out at Batman.
Affleck was always out.
Pattinson
is a question mark. And
really?
Pattinson's a question mark in the sense that we don't know what they want to do with him, but at the same time, his saving grace is that he's not associated with anyone at the moment.
Yeah.
So he could still survive a culling.
Yeah.
Wonder
Woman's out then?
Wonder Woman's out.
Flash is out.
Cyborg has been out for a long time.
Yeah.
Ezra Miller shot himself in the foot, so he's out. Look, even if the Flash movie is fantastic, even if Ezra Miller is fantastic, it's too risky a proposition to... Exactly. There's too much baggage with him involved.
Yeah. We're going to see basically all new casting, all new characters, fresh faces.
That's what I've heard. Yeah, and I mean, I can't believe they're making a Blue Beetle movie, which is crazy, but fine.
What is Blue Beetle?
It's another superhero in the DC universe that nobody has heard of. So, I mean, This is the right thing to do if you've already made 10, 15 movies in the DC universe and you've got a working universe that works, that, is clicking, similar to what Marvel has, where you can start introducing characters no one has heard of or very few people have heard of. But I think it's the incorrect thing to do for DC at this stage, because if you're in the midst of a reboot again, why would you want to introduce characters that either no one has heard of or no one cares about?
I think this is really interesting, though. I have to say, I think the decision is right by James Gunn is to just scrap everything and start all over again. But when you go down that list, I have to say, who's going to be a better Superman than Henry Cavill? Who's going to be a better Wonder Woman than Gal Gadot, right? The casting for Aquaman, Momoa, I guess I'm not so keen on Aquaman. I don't think he's so central, but what are they doing with Batman? ? But I thought Superman and Wonder Woman were exceptionally casted, even though I agree the movies aren't so great. Black Adam, I think, is absolutely canceled. We're never going to see another Black Adam movie, right?
Yeah. Let's not even talk. I mean, I love The Rock, but I am so disappointed in him right now. His behavior has been atrocious about Black Adam. I get it. There's sunk cost fallacy. You've been loving this show. You've been wanting to be a part of a superhero universe. This is your character, similar to what Ryan Reynolds did with Deadpool. I get it.
He just chose the wrong character. He chose the wrong character. For God's sakes,
you've made a stinker of a movie. It was bad, not just critically, but also commercially.
Yeah.
Just take your losses and slink away. But instead, he has acted like a complete buffoon. And I rarely use that word. And I don't want to call him a jackass because he's not a jackass. He's quite a savvy guy.
Watch your language.
What a buffoon. Honestly, what a buffoon thing to do. Let's leak stupid numbers out to industry sources. Let's make it sound like I'm integral to this part of this. Let me force my hand and get Henry Cavill to come in and get his hopes up. It's just, the whole thing has been handled so poorly by him. Henry Cavill came back, wasn't sure if he was ever going to be Superman. The Rock forced Warner Brothers' hand. They brought him back for that stupid cameo. And then, literally 2 weeks later, Henry Cavill is out, throwing egg on Rock's face. Then Rock says, "Oh well, anyway, I'm going to be a part of the next phase of the DC universe. There's going to definitely be a sequel. This movie made money." Everybody throws an egg on his face because everyone figures out, "Hey, Rock, maybe stick to football and wrestling. Numbers may not be your thing because there's no way your movie made any money." Fine. And then, because of his stupid statements, James Gunn has to publicly go out there and make a statement that says, "Hey, by the way, Black Adam isn't going to be a part of the first phase," to which then The Rock has to acquiesce, because how do you go up against the CEO of one of the companies that you're supposed to be working for? You don't. So now he gets self-owned by saying, "Well, I guess we're not going to be in the first phase, but we'll be there for phase 2 or whenever you need me." It just reeks of desperation.
I think you're being really tough on him.
I am being tough on him because I want more for him. And I like The Rock. So if I'm not going to be tough on him, who is?
Well, I mean, I think the problem began with him really wanting to get into the superhero universe, and whether he chose wrong or there just weren't a lot of options. I think things went bad when he chose to hitch himself to Black Adam.
It's terrible. I mean, just a horrendous decision by him.
It's really unfortunate because I knew he really wanted to be in this space. He wanted to attach himself to a series. He wanted to be a superhero. I think Black Adam it's kind of like a free agent, and he just chose too quickly, or he should have waited it out until he could have found something much better. I mean, he could have been a better Aquaman, maybe, although he has no hair. I'm not sure how that works, but he could have
been a better Aquaman. He would have been a fantastic Shazam. I think that would have been an interesting decision for him to make. If he wants to be a part of that universe, he gets to be. If there's one thing The Rock is good at is being a charismatic, smiley guy. Yeah. And there are times where where he can act really well as like a childish, gleeful guy. He does that glum thing very well as well, don't get me wrong. But because he's got such high charisma, he can also be like the childish, innocent, naive guy a little bit. Yeah. We saw a little bit of that with him in Central Intelligence with Kevin Hart.
Oh, yeah. And in Jumanji.
Also in Jumanji. Oh my God. Oh, with even Kevin better. Hart. Actually, that's perfect. That's exactly right. We saw that in Jumanji as well.
That's why Black Adam was such a bad choice, is that by definition, this is going to be a brooding, what do you call them? Anti-hero, right? That's not his bread and butter. Just like, remember, that's the old Will Smith rule,
it
right?
was also the original Rock character, right? Like when he did Welcome to the Jungle, when he did, there were a couple of movies that I can't remember. Johnny Knoxville was one where he was a sheriff in one of these movies. Yeah. He plays brooding not badly at all, but when you're a superhero or even an anti-hero, you have to play to your strengths. Yeah. And his strength, look, I love the guy, but he's not going to be winning an Oscar anytime soon.
I mean, it's like Ryan Reynolds knows how to do that. He chose Deadpool, which is exactly his snarky little
totally MO, right? Got the right character. Yeah. You know, Hugh Jackman owns Wolverine. Yeah. Ryan Reynolds owns Deadpool. Yeah. Patrick Stewart owns Professor X. There are certain characters, and up until
I don't know if Patrick Stewart owns. I think he's cohabitating X.
Yeah, I mean, I guess McAvoy's not bad either. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, but I think like Patrick's. When I think of Professor X in a wheelchair as the old bald man, I can only think of okay, fine. Ian McKellen owned Magneto more than what's his face, you know?
Really?
Oh yeah. I love Fassbender, but I will take Ian McKellen's Magneto over Fassbender's any day. So okay, but fine.
Maybe you're right on that.
Fine. Look, these are more controversial. Yeah. I get it. But there are certainly characters that owned or certainly actors that owned their characters, right? Good or bad, whether you like them or you didn't. When you think of them, you really believe that. Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
Yep.
Totally.
Yeah.
Right? Chris Evans as Captain America. 100%.
So that now we're going to Marvel, and the Marvel characters, you're right. From Iron Man all the way down to...
probably the best and maybe the most important example, Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark.
There will never be another Iron Man, right? And it's almost like Luke Skywalker.
Even if there is going to be a reboot 30 years from now, inevitably you will have to compare them to Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
You can't get away with that, right? Anyway, the point is, there are other characters that he should have hitched himself to, not Black Adam. I think we're both saying the same thing. I just say it with more ferocity only because he has now opened himself up to ridicule by behaving by going all in on something that he shouldn't be going all in on. You know, it's like people who are flat earthers. You can see the car crash happening. You can see the realization in their eyes, but because they've bought into this thing and because he's bought into this idea that that Black Adam is fantastic and that the movie was amazing, he's now basically doing everything he can to convince us. But man, the emperor has no clothes. You spent $210 million making this movie. The movie made $390 worldwide. And then you compare yourself to Captain America 1, which was made 12 years ago and also made $400 million worldwide. But that was 12 years ago.
Yeah. You
can't compare the two. So, anyway.
Well, let's see where DC goes but it's strange what DC is doing, right? Because they've kind of said, hey, all these changes are coming. Are we still supposed to be emotionally invested in Aquaman, Flash, Shazam now?
Well, I'm not.
Right?
Why would I bother worrying about what happens to Shazam or doesn't happen to Shazam or Aquaman or any of them?
Yeah.
If at the drop of a hat they could go for the next iteration.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's where I stand with DC. There are quite a lot of DC movies coming out. I wish them all the best of luck. But I have to say that in terms of superhero slate, I'm not super excited about anything coming out in terms of Marvel or DC. I will say I'm very much looking forward to Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm very much looking forward to Ant-Man.
Are you I would say Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
Yeah.
That trailer looked exceptional. I am very excited about that.
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, I'm a little bit nervous about because I feel like there's going to be a crap load of cameos. And having seen Thor Love and Thunder, I mean, what'd you think of Thor Love and Thunder? We talked about this.
Yeah, it was okay. It wasn't my favorite.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty critical by you. I mean, that's kind of as critical, I think, as you've been of a Marvel movie. But based on Thor Love and Thunder, I'm not at all excited about Guardians of the Galaxy because those two are so tightly aligned, even more so than Ant-Man and the Wasp, which has always been a little bit independent, right?
Yes, but so the reason I'm more excited for Ant-Man is because it sets up the next two phases of the MCU. Or rather, it doesn't set it up. It defines the next two phases of the MCU.
Quantumania.
Yeah. So I think we get finally introduced to the main villain. We get an idea of what's going to happen or where the series is going, which I think the last phase of the MCU, phase 4, was sorely lacking.
Is the Marvels coming out?
Yep, that's Captain Marvel 2. I think it's called the Marvels, whatever it's called. Yes.
And that's going to be before. Where is that falling in terms of so it goes Guardians, the Marvels, and then Ant-Man?
No, Ant-Man's first. It comes out in February.
Oh.
Then we've got the Marvels in July, and and then we've got Guardians in May. So it'll go Ant-Man, Guardians, and then the Marvels. And then I think that's it for the MCU in the cinema. Theoretically, you've got Kraven the Hunter coming out from Sony, which is an ancillary related MCU project.
Okay.
But I don't know about that. And then, of course, you've got Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which I'm very excited about.
All right. What about other big blockbusters we've got in 2023? Indiana Jones. Mission Impossible. Am I right? Tell me, am I reading this incorrectly? Transformers?
Yeah, so I saw the trailer Beast Wars. That's coming out. It's not on my list, but I'm glad you put it on. Is this Michael Bay? It's not Michael Bay. I don't think Michael Bay has made a Transformers movie in a while.
Huh.
I think once he made the first trilogy, he was done with it. I think he stays on board as like an executive producer or something.
Do we need more Transformers movies?
No, but they make a boatload of money, so,
Huh. And Dune Part 2, is that right?
Dune Part 2, which I'm also super pumped about. We saw the first part together.
Yes, we did. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that comes out in November.
Yeah. And what else do we have? Babylon.
So Babylon's been released in the US, but doesn't get a worldwide release until the first week of January.
Are you excited about it?
Poor.
Did you like the trailer?
I was until I saw the reviews, which is unfortunate. In general, I like Brad Pitt. I like Margot Robbie, so I had higher hopes for it. But having said that, I'll still watch it, of course.
Yeah.
What else? I've got the Super Mario Brothers movie, which I'm very excited for.
Creed 3.
Less excited for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What do you think of Indiana Jones? You mentioned it's coming out. Are you excited?
I am. I hope they get the de-aging technology to look right. I like Indiana Jones overall. Even though the last movie was terrible, The Crystal Skull, it was not good, but it's still it still felt like an Indiana Jones movie, so I didn't mind it.
In this movie, it's called Dial of Destiny, right?
Yeah.
So this is supposed to be Indiana Jones, and is he old now? He's like retired?
Yeah, so if you see the trailer, he's old. But then if you see the trailer, you also see shots of a very young-looking Harrison Ford.
Like their flashbacks?
No, I think he goes back in time. I think that's what the Dial of Destiny means.
So he's going to be de-aged through the majority of the film.
I have no idea. That's what I'm thinking because of the shots that I saw and because of the trailer, but I have no idea.
Wow. Have we seen a movie where the character is de-aged for like a significant amount of time?
I mean, we've seen a movie where the character comes back. Peter Cushing was brought back digitally for Rogue One.
Yeah. But I mean, that was just one scene, right? It was just like
No, but for the whole movie.
How many scenes was he in?
Whatever. You're right. He wasn't in many scenes, but he was, I mean, that Peter Cushing has long passed, unfortunately, right?
Yeah.
So in Ant-Man, we saw a young Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas?
Yeah, he got DH, but that was only for one scene. That wasn't for the whole movie.
Yeah. It's usually just one.
And actually, maybe even Robert Redford was, I can't remember now, but maybe he was, but I can't recall.
I feel like the de-aging is usually only for one scene, and it's usually like a very brief cut. You know, kind of like
generally speaking, yes.
Right? Like we saw Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill in Mandalorian, right?
Yeah.
And it cannot be too long because otherwise you're going to start to find the flaws.
You're going to start to see the cracks in the tech.
And it's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird, right? So if Indiana Jones is going to be significantly Harrison Ford de-aged, that'll be really interesting to see how they pull it off.
Yeah, it'll be a little weird. It'll look a little uncanny valley. Like they almost got it right, but clearly they didn't. Was when The Irishman with Robert De Niro.
Oh yeah, that was creepy though. Wasn't that creepy?
I think it was creepy for a couple of reasons. One, the tech wasn't perfect. And two, instead of using a young actor's body double and then putting his face on that actor, what they did was they just used the current Robert De Niro.
He's got a 70-year-old fat body and he's got a 25-year-old face.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
So like you're depicting a 30 or a 40-year-old Robert De Niro, but he's moving around like a 70-year-old Robert De Niro, and you could see that. Like when he's climbing into the truck.
Yeah.
When he's climbing out of a truck, when he's throwing a punch, all those kinds of things looked odd and looked a little off because there was visual cognitive dissonance. So I think you're going to see, I don't know what they're going to do with this. And look, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's only that one flashback sequence. Maybe there's more. Who knows?
I guess I haven't really decided where I fall on the technology. It's just like with everything that sometimes it's really nice to have this image in your head of how things looked, even if that image isn't right. And then when you see people again that are supposed to be how they would have looked if they were young again, it's just jarring in it, and it just kind of like changes your entire perception of that character, right?
Yeah.
Leia and Luke, I think. Maybe Star Wars just ruined it for me.
Or even, young Nick Cage in Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Oh my God, I can't believe I haven't said this. Speaking of which, Renfield comes out in April, and I'm dying to see it. It's Nicolas Cage as Dracula.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I feel like Nicolas Cage and Bruce Willis are locked into some type of bet where they're like, hey, let's see how many obscure movies we can make in any given year.
It comes down to just money, right? Both of these guys, I don't know about Bruce Willis, but like Nicolas Cage was famously bankrupt and
Nicolas Cage is famously bankrupt, but I think Bruce Willis, I have no idea what his financial status is, but I feel like he just likes making movies, and he just needs to keep making action movies, right?
But I think it goes beyond that for Bruce Willis, right? So Bruce Willis has that unfortunate disease, right, where he's not able to speak anymore. He can't communicate anymore. So what did he do? He sells his digital face and digital rights to put him in movies, even if he's not around anymore, or even if he's not acting. So I think it goes beyond money. I think at that point, I don't know if it's an ego thing. I don't know what it is.
Oh, yeah. At least we still got, you know what? Hats off to Sylvester Stallone for looking and acting his age in Tulsa King then.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe
Right?
not looking, but definitely acting.
You don't think he looks his age?
I mean, have you seen him without his shirt off? He's like after the Expendables movies, he got so jacked and so ripped. He must have been taking some kind of...
He's on the Liver King diet.
Yeah, right. Exactly. With all those HGH and all that supplements. So.
I mean, I don't know how you feel about that, but I agree with Joe Rogan. Like, look, if an actor wants to do it, like, go ahead. Like, it doesn't bother me at all. You know, I don't feel like it's cheating or anything. I mean, we know that who knows what Sylvester Stallone is doing, right? If he's a vegan or if he's like injecting himself or it's a combination of both. But I have to say, like, I give the guy credit for like giving a crap. I've got Gerard Butler out here who's like 40 years old and looks like he's 80 and he's on a diet of like whiskey and cigarettes.
Yeah, I think the difference is between, Sylvester Stallone and whatever that Liver King guy was, is that Sylvester Stallone isn't selling a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And then trying to convince people that his way is the right way and then deceiving them.
Yeah.
I think that guy, was taking all these different supplements and drugs and whatever he was doing, whatever his name is. Yeah. So that's a different thing. So again, I personally have no problem with it. If you want to do whatever you want to do, it's your body, it's your right, you do it. And that's fine.
I appreciate Stallone for giving a crap.
And I'll, say what you will about Hollywood, it's still basically a business where the industry cares about what you look like.
Unless you're Gerard Butler. My complaint about Gerard Butler for like the last 5 films is that he's just showing up like he could care less about how he looks and about his audience. He's just like,
but having said that, he's also not done any roles in the last 5 movies that require him to be like a super buff guy or someone without a dad bod. Right. The next thing for him is Plane.
What is Plane that comes about?
Out. I think it's about a hijacked plane, and he plays the pilot.
Let me guess. Can I guess what's going to happen? Gerard Butler plays a divorced dad, never sees his son or daughter. He's in a big fight with his ex. Right. He's totally let himself go. Then he's in this situation. And he's going to somehow reunite with his ex and save his son or daughter.
Yeah, something like that. Or he was like an ex-military guy who got drummed out of the service.
Yes.
Because he was a drunk or whatever. Yeah. The plane is either hijacked or crashes somewhere, and he has to save his passengers.
Yeah, it's absolutely his MO. He does that well. Maybe his whiskey cigarette diet is
again,
intentional.
It's not like his career is in jeopardy. Let's put it that way. So again, if it works for him, it's fine. And at the end of the day, we put actors in such a position that they can't be themselves anymore, which is a bit unfair as well, right? Be who you want to be. Do what you want to do. It's fine.
It's a dog-eat-dog world out there.
Yeah. Anything else you're looking forward to?
I've heard that there's a Dungeons and Dragons coming out.
I'm so pumped. The trailer looks great. I'm very excited. Are you going to
explode? Pete, can you just explain what is your level of Dungeons and Dragons-ness? Like it's integral for you, right?
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I play it. I DM. I'm a player. It's something I'm quite passionate about.
So what do you think of the movie? Like, you think it's going to be good or it's going to be an abomination? Like, how do you feel when that comes out?
The trailer seems good. I don't know what the main plot of the movie is. I don't know but the trailer seems pretty decent.
If it was Jumanji-like, how would you feel?
I wouldn't have a problem. Jumanji did exactly what it was meant to do on the tin, right?
Yeah.
Like, it did everything that the tin said it would. It did. I think it was absolutely fine.
Like, you wouldn't be like, oh, this is too silly. It's
because that's the point of Dungeons and Dragons is that everything is, at least surface level, very silly, right? Yeah. You have wizards, you have sorcerers, you have, fireballs, you have creatures, you have flying monsters, you have all these kinds of things in the game. So why wouldn't it be there in the movie as well?
Yeah. But you're not excited about Creed 3. Huh.
I'm just not. It's not that they're very good movies, don't get me wrong, but it didn't do anything for me.
What about, is there going to be a new Fast and Furious?
Yeah, Fast X.
Right? It's true.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's the penultimate movie. I believe Fast and the Furious, they're going to make 2 movies, and that's it. Then the series is done.
No way. Do you believe that?
I think so. I think Vin Diesel's done. He's everyone has kind of crapped on him because he's kind of let himself go. If there's one actor who's kind of let themselves go, it's Vin Diesel. And I don't mean that physically, by the way. I think just in terms of he's checked out as an actor, I think that's him.
Yeah. That's really an end of an era. I mean, they haven't really been cultivating any new blood, right? I mean, they've been adding people, but they haven't been adding younger people, you know? Like adding Jason Statham, adding The Rock. Like, these are very good additions, but this isn't like decreasing the age, right? They haven't
they tried early in the series, but I think they stuck to the tried and true formula of these are the people that like us, so let's not add too much to it. Let's just make they're similar to Tom Cruise's mentality. Their mentality has been, let's just keep adding to the mythos. Let's just keep adding wilder and wilder stunts and situations.
You have any idea what the plot, so to speak, of this is going to be?
No idea. They went to space in the last one, so I don't know. I think they're going to go back in time. I think they're going to drive so fast around the world that they end up breaking a hole in the time-space continuum. That's all that's left. There's nothing else left.
Maybe they'll just stay in the same city and they'll drive like the speed limit. They'll go the opposite way now.
Yeah. We're going to trade in my $200,000 Maserati for a $20,000 Prius.
Yeah.
Maybe they start Uber. Maybe that's why it's Fast X. So they're going to just be Uber X.
Have you seen a trailer? Is there a trailer for it?
There is nothing yet. I have no idea.
It's going to be a big year. I mean, anytime you've got Guardians of the Galaxy and you've got Indiana Jones and you've got Mission Impossible and you've got Dune 2, I mean, that's a proper lineup.
Yeah, it's proper lineup. The summer is lining up to be quite nice. If you look at it, we've got The Flash, Indiana Jones, Mission Impossible. Then you've got a couple. You've got the Barbie movie, which everyone
Barbie's
is raving about.
Who's Barbie? Who's playing Barbie?
Margot Robbie.
Oh yeah.
Then you've got Blue Beetle. Then you've got Equalizer. You've got the fourth Expendables movie. That's the last movie in my summer list. It'll be an action-packed summer.
I'm looking forward to it. So that is what we've got to look forward to 2023. There's always going to be some stuff that we haven't seen coming, like some new intellectual property, especially on television. I mean, I listed Succession, Crown. I think there's a new season of Just Like That, Yellow Jackets, but there's always the 90s show on Netflix. But there's always new intellectual properties streaming-wise. And that's, I think, where I'm going to get really excited, is that there's going to be something that's going to be the new insert name, Game of Thrones or whatever it's going to be, right?
Yeah. There's a couple of video game adaptations that.
Oh yeah, The Last of Us.
Although I'm not super excited about, I do think they'll be quite successful. So yes, you've got The Last of Us coming out. You've got The Division coming out.
Oh yeah.
So there's like a bunch of these like adaptations of either books or comic books or whatever. Those are coming out. So I expect that, unless they're on the same level as Halo, which I don't think they will be, I think they'll be quite successful. And speaking of which, I don't know what's going on with Halo. I don't know if they're...
I was, when you said that, it recalled something deep, deep, deep in my own hard drive. Yeah. What is happening with Halo?
I haven't heard anything about it. I don't know how the season ended for the rest of the world. I mean, for me, it was such a skip that I actually want my money back from Paramount. That's how bad I thought it was.
Yikes.
I don't know what they're going to do going forward. And maybe I was in the minority. Who knows? Maybe people loved it, but I thought it was horrendous.
I don't know of anyone who loved it, but I'm kind of with you. If that makes it to a second season, there's a lot of forgiveness in that studio.
No, I think if it makes it to a second season, that's indicative of Microsoft saying, okay, here's a boatload of money. You keep making it because we want our IP out there. Good or bad, we want it out there.
Yeah, maybe. It should be the opposite way, though, right? It's usually it's usually the IP owner, Microsoft in this case, being paid by the studio. And here you think it's totally reversed, where the IP owner is saying, "Hey, here's money to make a film about us." I mean, that's not the way that it goes usually.
No, but let's see. I mean, I don't know. I was so disheartened by it, so I'm quite fine if they don't do it.
On HBO, we're going to see the second season of what was the Lakers show called? Not Showtime.
Winning Time.
Is there season 2 of Winning Time, right?
Yeah. So HBO on its media day, or Warner Brothers on their media day, released like a supercut of all the shows coming up that everyone's excited for in the next year.
Yeah.
And Winning Time, there was a blink and you miss it, like couple second long clip of season 2 of Winning Time. So I expect to see that as well.
And should we nominate the, I guess, surprise hit that came out at the end of 2022 that you and I both saw, which was Confess Fletch? Oh yeah, so I loved it. Maybe a special shout out for John Hamm and the role he did in that, huh? Yeah. I will. I say it was, for me, it was a pleasant surprise, and you'll probably all hear about it more when we do our annual recap. Yeah. But it is on my list of pleasant surprises. Yeah. And I'm looking more forward to more pleasant surprises, not just of this, but in general. Yeah. Like, I hadn't even seen a trailer for it. I didn't know anything about it. And then it just dropped out of nowhere. I quickly saw it. I fell in love with it. I told you about it. You were fortunate enough that you were able to see it. Not only did you tell me about it, I think I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Right. Like, what is Confess Fletch? And you're like, you remember Chevy Chase and Fletch? I'm like, oh man, like, for me, when I think of Chevy Chase, I get him confused between his role in Caddyshack and Fletch. And in my mind, those came out at about the same time. Is that right? Not too far apart from each other, absolutely. Like, if you quoted me a line and said, hey, did Chevy Chase say this in Fletch or in, what's the other one? Caddyshack, I'd be like, I don't know, I'm guessing. Because I thought he played almost the same character, at least in my mind when I saw it as a kid, you know? Yeah, so, I mean, look, it was also a part of that, era where he was in a lot of movies. Yeah. We saw him also in Family Vacation. Family Vacation, exactly. Classic. He was so good. Right. So there were the two there were the two Fletch movies, Family Vacation. There was a sequel to that, right? Didn't they go to Europe in the second one? There was like Vacation, there was Family Vacation, there's European Vacation, there was Christmas Vacation. Sure. Okay, so there were a couple different one of them. Yeah. And if I remember correctly, Ed Helms made a reboot. I recall this as well, yes. There was a reboot. Yeah. I'm pretty sure there was a reboot or a reimagining or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. It was something like that. Yeah, so it was that era where he was kind of like in the cultural zeitgeist, right? Yeah. Chevy Chase, whatever his name is. Yeah. Super talented guy. But yeah, I remember Fletch, and you're like, hey, like there's a new Fletch out called Confess Fletch, which I think is maybe not the best title, but they pulled it off. You love punctuation in your movie titles, so maybe they did that. I do. It had a comma and an exclamation mark. It had a comma and an exclamation mark. Grammar be damned. So, yeah, I thought absolutely John Hamm was phenomenal in that. Another person just made for that role, right? Totally. He gets the role. Smarmy, super hot, super, intelligent, super capable, but I couldn't give a damn about anything attitude. Exactly right. And that's one of those roles that's one of the dialogues where it's so quick. If like English isn't your first language, if you're not really, really in tune, the jokes are so subtle and quick that it's really tough to catch up on, right? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And like it's when the inspector is like, shut up and start talking, he says, that's a really confusing set of commands, right? Like, yeah. It's really tricky to keep up with if you're not paying attention to what they say. Yeah. And it's also one of those movies where paying attention to
the smaller details pays off in huge dividends by the end. It's similar to Glass Onion in that regard. It's also one of the same reasons I really enjoyed Glass Onion. The second time you watch it, the third time you watch it, you get rewarded for paying attention to the slightest, smallest details that you don't think about when you first watch it. But the second and third watches are equally as enjoyable, if not more so.
Oh, yeah. I love details like that. You're right. It's good to have a payoff.
So, yeah, that's my outlook for 2023.
That's what we've got to look forward to, 2023. I think we had a good year in 2022. And as Pete mentioned, in the coming weeks, we will do a wrap-up of some ratings, some rankings, some awards perhaps, of all the television and cinema, big and small screen, that we have seen in 2022. And by that time, we'll have probably some new launches in 2023 that we can talk about as well.
Absolutely. And in the meantime, if we've, maybe there's something that you want us to see, or you've seen a trailer for that, we've missed, drop us a comment below this video, or drop us a line, aloha at filmsandstuffpodcast.com. Drop us a DM at F&S Podcast, or, drop us another line on Instagram at filmsandstuffpodcast. Let us know, like and subscribe, keep engaging with us. What are you excited for in 2023? What should we be looking out for? Or even, what aren't you looking at? What excites you the least, or what do you look at and just say, God, why are they doing this?
So everyone has a little bit of homework for 2023 as we wind down literally the last hours of 2022.
Indeed, it's been a good year for cinema. I think we're back.
We're back.
I think that Hollywood and just the global cinema situation, or let's say entertainment situation, is getting to a point where we are no longer going to compare ourselves to a pre-pandemic or during pandemic industry. I think we're just going to be back in the movies now. And
Pete, also a good year for films and stuff. We knocked out over 100 episodes, including 26 episodes of Streamer Skip.
That's right.
Bad.
Not bad. So tune in, keep listening, and keep subscribing. Let us know what we can do, or if there's anything you want to hear from us, let us know.
We'll be here. Listeners, thank you for everything in 2022. Pete, you as well, buddy. Really appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful 2023. We wish you all the best from here at Films and Stuff.
Indeed we do. All right. Bye now.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Films and Stuff. If you haven't already, please subscribe and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever podcasts are downloaded. Films and Stuff. There is no substitute.